Well, it appears that Henry Cavill is the man. Is he still the Superman? Well, time will tell. But as with all films and television series, actors, of course, do these rounds where they promote said film or series. And in this case, Henry Cavill is, of course, promoting his Netflix series, The Witcher. And, of course, he had to do the rounds. And he gets this interview, and this guy that's talking to him brings up the scourge of toxic fandom. That's a small yet vocal group. They're small, they're irrelevant, and you keep mentioning them. Why is that? But that's another story. But Cavill's reaction caused a bit of a stir. He didn't toe the line, as it were. So he says, I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. Oh, Henry. Oh, you're not supposed to say that. He goes on to elaborate. People are going to be upset, especially when you are talking about books or games, because you are never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played in Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate. And it's something that which I obviously had to come to terms with over the years. Yeah, you're never going to completely capture anything, like, especially like with Superman. Good Lord, there's decades of material and versions of Superman, and he changed over those decades. And so everybody's going to have a different kind of viewpoint or a different variation on even a point that people might all agree on. And it says, no, it should be like this or what have you. And there's always going to be that, aspect of it. And you're never going to be completely satisfied with a film it's impossible for a film or even a TV series to capture all those elements. And the same would be true for Witcher here, whether it's the books or the games that you prefer, the TV series, well, it's impossible for it to completely match up. I've seen things get close, though. So whether Witcher got close enough to satisfy all, more or less, well, we'll have to see. I'm not a big Witcher fan. I know very little about it. So, but boy, this has piqued my interest. I might have to give this one a shot because it's such a breath of fresh air for a star to come out and give just a basic. And really, that's all it is. It's just a common sense answer. And I would have, added that to object to this broad brush of toxic fandom. I mean, sure, there's going to be incidents of someone on Twitter saying something snotty and nasty. That's every second of every day on Twitter. It's impossible to stamp that out. And there's always going to be something like that. And always they make a big deal about some Twitter account anonymous with a little cartoon avatar or what have you. And they have 98 followers. And oh my God, this is the scourge of toxic fandom and it's destroying the entire industry and what have you. No, it isn't. It's just the immediate response when you don't have an argument to defend sloppy work. When you have genuine criticism, it's always met with "you're a toxic fan." And that's just a cowardly way of getting out of the subject of when you produced lazy and sloppy work and people are calling you on it. And when that happens, it's immediately slammed with toxicity. But complaints in general are going to happen even when something is, just, good or just sort of okay or what have you. And I said, well, it didn't exactly match up to what I thought it would be. Oh, you're toxic. That could be a comment of someone who's not even saying that The Witcher was bad, or Superman was bad. It just means it says, it could have been better. And everything could always be better, or it just didn't match what I thought it would be or what I see it as to be, what I know the material to be, and it didn't really live up to those standards and that sort of thing. Even when it doesn't, someone with that opinion could probably even still like the film or show. But immediately, just that broad brush, you're swept away immediately, even though you're supposedly a small but vocal group. Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you're small, then the relevance, yeah. So good for Henry. Good luck on your show. And again, people are a little upset about him not coming out in support or release the Snyder Cut. I took it from his comments. He didn't really know enough about it, even though he's there and he shot his scenes and whatnot, and then he's off to Mission Impossible. Then they call him back with his mustache. Obviously, he has a reason not to be happy about that experience and about he's the one stuck up on the screen with the stupid digital work that was very badly done and that sort of thing. And for a movie that flopped, that's not a happy moment for him. And overall, I take from his comments on that whole Superman experience was that he wasn't happy in the direction of it. He would have preferred just a direct sequel to Man of Steel for that sort of thing, rather than just suddenly being thrown into, because Batman versus Superman is basically Justice League 1, you know, and that sort of thing. I didn't have a problem with it myself. I think it could have worked out, but I understand his desires for the Superman story to get more of a chance and more of a completion to it, because Man of Steel is very clearly chapter 1 of a story, and he didn't get a chance to finish that. And so had he done that, maybe he would have been happier to, go ahead and do, Justice League and stuff like that. So, he feels a little burnt and betrayed, perhaps, by Warner Brothers on that. They suddenly changed directions. And the same thing with Affleck. I think he was brought in for a particular vision of Batman, and then suddenly everything changed on him, And so, these things happen, and makes it a little, of course, he did come out and say, release that Snyder Cut, which, perhaps he has more knowledge of the goings-on of the script than Henry did, and understands that, maybe it's not perfect, but it's better than what we got, and maybe it's something like that. But this here, again, when you're constantly being slammed and, again, broad-brushed as toxic fandom, this is a breath of fresh air to have an actor just come out, and all he did was just say the common sense truth of it all. That's all he did. He's not even really picking a side here, other than he's tossing some love to the fandom, which he understands. Without the fandom, well, where is he? And so this is a win for Henry Cavill. Good on him. So for right now, Henry Cavill is the man. Hopefully, Superman one more time or a couple of times more before we move on to someone else, but well, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. There's also a link to my podcast on RadioMisfits.com, the Mr Nailsin Show, and a link to BitChute, that other video platform that has my videos as well, because, well, with the dark cloud swirling about YouTube, you just never know whether any of these channels will still be there. Something to consider. So check out BitChute.